influence on our president and Congress. And they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today, seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv. Hi, this is Alex Jones. Did you know that the global elite are now storing non-hybrid seeds in secret storage vaults near the Arctic Circle? Did you know that in a real meltdown, non-hybrid seeds can become more valuable than silver or gold? It's true, seeds have outperformed even gold and silver before in this country, and it's possible that could even happen again. So our friends at Solutions from Science have put together the perfect mix of non-hybrid seeds. They call it a survival seed bank, and it can produce an endless supply of nutrient-dense food for you and your family. And here's the best part. These seeds have not been genetically modified in any way, and you actually get enough seeds to plant a full acre crisis garden. So visit them today at survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com, or give them a call at 877-327-0365. That's 877-327-0365. Remember, in a real crisis, non-hybrid seeds are the ultimate barter item. This is Alex Jones for survivalseedbank.com.
Talk about a lot of negative stuff here, but that overall is positive. If we don't expose the bad, then we can't protect the good. And I just want to say this. We have a wonderful planet. There are so many good people. There are so many beautiful and wonderful and honorable things in this world. My family is so great. My wife, my children. It is just magic and wonderful how good it is. And that's why I get disgusted and angry at the globalist, at the New World Order system, because I know they've made decisions to hate their fellow humankind and to do really bad things. I know they've committed crime upon crime upon crime, and I'm tired of them. But John in Georgia, we got Max back on another line from France. Restate your questions quickly, and then I want to get Max's take, and then you counter back. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I just wanted to make that point about the dictionary. You know, he recommended that to an aspiring young journalist, and I would recommend that he get an 1848 Webster's Dictionary, and he might have some accurate definitions.
Yeah, they have been memory holding a lot of the definitions, but you also wanted to point out that authoritarian systems always create the worst environments, where the Russians would just throw reactors in a lake, communist Chinese, their rivers just set on fire. And I mean, was that directed at Max? I mean...
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, just talking about it, the dictionary immediately opened up a conversation about the dictionary. You know, so immediately the knowledge is infectious. So you're saying, oh, 1848 dictionary. Okay, I will. I'm going to check it out. So this is what we're talking about. When you start talking about the actual words that go into the sentences, that go into the paragraphs, that go into the pages, that go into the essays, that go into the screeds, that go into the Constitution, it all starts with words. And when you're talking about words, there's a place to go find words. Most people you talk to today who say, oh, I'm a journalist, they don't really know much about words, and yet words are the fundamental particle of the journalistic trade. So get familiar with words.
Yes, interesting point, Max. Anything else, John?
Oh, yeah. The reason for my call initially, the bird story. I was watching NBC Nightly News last night with Brian Williams, and they were trying to find all these possible explanations for these tens of thousands of blackbirds dropping out of the air. And I'm from Arkansas. I grew up there. And, of course, it's one of the greatest duck hunting states or places in North America. So, you know, I thought I'd, he mentioned, what he mentioned just blew me away. He said that well, it could be fireworks combined with celebratory gunfire. And when he came up with that, I thought, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, Arkansas is not Baghdad. There is not celebratory fire going on.
Celebratory gunfire. That blew me away. So I thought I'd tell you a story, maybe, a little bit. Back in the 1970s, I lived on the left coast, and I was a manufacturer's rep for firearms manufacturers. And one of the companies we represented was Beretta. They make a very high-quality line of high-end shotguns, and so occasionally we'd run across a buyer that we'd want to take back to Arkansas to go duck hunting. And, I thought to myself, oh, yeah, we'd go out in those soybean fields, and we'd pop out of the blinds and fire, 2 or 3 shots because we had over and unders or plugged, barrels. But, it didn't take much. You couldn't miss. There'd be clouds of 500,000 that would darken the sky. And, one shot would be enough. The rest would all die of heart attacks. And we'd just be pelted and rained on. It would destroy the cars and everything. And if you believe that, why, I just wanted to comment and say, no, this is absolutely insanity that they actually believe that the American public would accept a story like that.
Well, you're right. Max, what's your take on that?
Well, look this up. I think a lot of you will find this very fascinating. Do you remember that show Flipper on TV with the dolphin?
Well, look, I know about...
Let me finish. Do you remember that show Flipper on TV?
Yeah, I thought you were asking a question. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Flipper, at the end of his life, a lot of people don't realize this, but Flipper committed suicide. Flipper the dolphin committed suicide. Animals can look it up on Google that. You'll find out that Flipper committed suicide. Animals commit suicide.
Yeah, well, birds will pull their feathers out and peck themselves to death.
I've had it with humans, and they're committing suicide. They've had it. They're sick of us, and they'd rather kill themselves than live another day with these disgusting pig human beings.
Max, let me ask you a question. How do the birds pulverize their organs into liquid blood? They're claiming just bumping into each other would do this. I've shot plenty of dove and quail about the same size as these starlings. And let me just tell you, when little BBs hit them with a lot more force than birds colliding, nothing turns to mush. It just shoots little holes through them. And then you take the breast out and marinate it and cook it. This is impossible, this liquefying of the organs, unless they had Ebola and they don't have any disease. This is a real whodunit mystery here. What do you think's going on, John? Do you think Al-Qaeda did it?
I was joking, about the gunfire and thinking that they would, just masses would die of heart attacks. That's just absolutely ludicrous. But anyway, what I think did it, I think the chemtrails are doing it, if you want my honest opinion. They're spraying aluminum oxide, barium, and strontium into the atmosphere. You can test the snow on Mount Shasta and find it. You can test it because that's the water supply for Northern California. And you can test it. There's been several places that it's been tested. And of course, when they get caught, they claim they're not doing it. They're just planning to do it. Or they say that, well, maybe we're trying to prevent global warming or whatever excuse they can. But, the real reason, the real motivation is absolutely that they want to do damage to the health of the average American
Well, they're a bunch
person.
of chicken neck eugenics lunatics like John P. Holdren. They put on TV ads. I had an article about this yesterday, didn't get to it, where they're now airing other ads where they're blowing kids up in school. They don't accept carbon taxes, where people are murdered. They're really pumping this anti-human view. And I understand Max is angry about real, legitimate decadence that's disgusting to all of us. But, I think empowering and uplifting humanity is the answer. I appreciate your call, John. Max, what do you see as the big trends in 2011? really mining down into brass tacks. What do you think the best investments are from a Max Keiserian perspective?
Well, just to follow up, right now in the Southern Ocean, in Antarctica, the Sea Shepherd, which is a group of conservationists, are doing battle against Japanese whalers. Now, they've taken the fight right to the Japanese whalers on behalf of their clients, as they call them, the whales. That's the kind of direct action needed to protect the animal species, because the animal species, as Einstein said about the bees, Einstein made a very famous quote about the bee population.
Mm-hmm.
If the bee population were to go extinct, humans would become extinct within, I think he said, something like 2 or 3 years. And this is what we're talking about. The bees cross-fertilize the agricultural products, and Monsanto is never going to come up with synthetic food to replace the entire ecosystem that's been in place for millions of years that we rely on for life. And direct action, like Captain Paul Watson of the Sea Shepherd in the Southern Ocean is doing right now. They've got a brilliant show about this on Animal Planet that they have every year now for 4 or 5 years. They document his fight with the Japanese whalers. And he's taking direct action to defend the whales. We need to defend these animals.
Well, I do agree that wiping out the elephants and the whales is abhorrent, but then they just get everybody upset with Animal Planet and then turn loose the local animal police on you, who come and take your dog and euthanize it because it's barking. I mean, there's a more sophisticated propaganda going on here.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you look at the individual cells of dog ownership, and people have pets, and it's and the city is divided into various wardens in America. You can't compare that to the ecosystem of the globe and humanity's history on this globe. There's a symbiotic relationship between people and the environment, and you can't synthetically wedge yourself in between you and the environment with these synthetic food products and synthetic intellectual products without causing incredible species-wide dangerous situations like we're having now. Entire species are going extinct, and one of those species is called human. The human species is at risk of going extinct. The planet will continue. The planet is indifferent to our plight. But if we don't want it, if we don't want to stay on this planet, we're going to lose it, because we're just giving the corporations, as we say, the power to pollute without any accountability.
Well, more than pollution,
to make short-term profits, to pay themselves
Max, more than pollution,
to buy toys at the end of the year at Tiffany's jewelry.
Sure.
But they have no consideration for the general well-being of the population at all. It's not a factor on the balance sheet. It's not a factor in their corporate charter. It's not a factor in their annual report. They are psychopathic, out-of-control entities that are at war with the natural world. And we will not survive if you've got multi-hundred-billion-dollar corporations at war against our ecosystem.
Sure, Max, I need to put something in here, though. I agree with a lot of what you're saying. I mean, it's common sense, much of it. The issue is they are very intelligent and know that, so they've cornered the market and control the environmental movement, and the mega corporations that own the media spew a environmental-oid version of what you're saying that gives them more power to divert off into environmental solutions that don't actually fix anything, which you agreed with earlier. I mean, you understand that that's going on, but my bigger issue is not even so much pollution. I don't want to drink it. I don't want to breathe it. I know ultimately that it bioaccumulates in Homo sapiens sapien, top of the food chain, and we're getting people getting Alzheimer's at 25. I understand this is really bad, bioaccumulation of heavy metals, but the Earth can deal with that. What it can't deal with is some type of mishap, which the physicists admit could happen with a Strangelet or other things, with the Hadron Superconducting Supercollider, or with the genetic engineering. I mean, those are the areas where I've really done the study, and it's a mathematical probability that the more they do this, just open and wildly, the closer we are to not becoming a Type 1 civilization.
Okay, well, so the issue is, how do you avoid becoming like a whack-a-mole situation?